All right, everyone, we are coming back and at it with the rest of the afternoon. We'll have one more little break before we close off for the evening. And we are going to select some of our winners. We have Kayla coming in to help us gather up all the entries and make sure that everybody is good and ready to go. We'll have a winner for Challenge 1 and a winner for Challenge 2. And yes, I did put my flower in my hair that I made with the shrink film and all the other things. And then I'll tweak the ball a little bit later, but glimmer mist it and have so much fun with it, and really just, it's that easy. You can take those small little shapes and just stick them right on in, as long as you keep going in that line. You can fill in the entire ball and it just looks awesome. So, yep, toaster oven flattens out the shrink. That's awesome. Way to go. But, you know, you can also, don't be afraid to really crinkle up. I know I have it in my hair. But don't be afraid to really crinkle up that shrink film, too. It looks really cool crinkled. Keep hitting this now. I don't know. I feel like I keep getting closer and closer to my camera. Okay. Hi. We are going to do a scrapbook layout this afternoon. We're going to do some masking. We're going to do some glimmer misting. We're going to do some fun, okay? And this is just a more boyish theme, first day of the first grade. I'm actually going to be doing one that's a lot more flowery, hearts-like. I have the pink dots, and you can really mix it up and have fun with the different colors that you utilize and use. When you post with hashtags, do you separate the hashtags? Like if I were posting it, yes, you separate the hashtags. You separate it doing just like how I've typed it in before. So if you do a hashtag Dubai Megan E and then hashtag cropped 2. And then you can do a hashtag for challenge 1. Awesome, 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 awesome. So, I had already pulled off from my chipboard stickers. I had told you guys before. When I designed these, I wanted to leave, normally, okay, when you buy a pack of chipboard stickers, and they're just the letters cut out. Well, you know when they're made, they're actually cut on an entire sheet, just like with our Cricut machine. Well, instead of just giving you guys the letters all cut out on a backing sheet, I included what would be considered waste for you guys to be able to use and recycle and play with and have fun with. And one of the things that, since it's glossy, it works really great for a reusable stencil, which a lot of people don't realize or know. And so that's what we are going to utilize with this today. It's perfect for back to school. The ABCs, you know, the letters, the numbers. These do have numbers on them as well, which is another awesome thing about the chipboard stickers. And it's, every time I talk about some of these products, I'm like, I can't believe they're going away. It actually makes me really sad. But let's see, where did I put the other sheet of them? Did I knock them on the floor? Because there's basically two sides that come in one. Oh, well, you can just use these two. It doesn't matter. I have the white ones. They're stuck together with something. Looks like a chipboard. I don't know what happened there. So there's two sides. One side has like the ABC and it goes to the letter T, and then the other side has the letter T and it goes to Z, but then there's also the numbers and punctuation marks as well. So you have a question mark and brackets and some other different things. All right. So we're going to utilize those, and what I'm going to do is we're going to do a little bit of both, but you can see I just used the ABCs on this one and my glimmer mist. You can use any color glimmer mist you want, but if you don't have glimmer mist, because it wasn't supposed to be included in boxes, it was just a bonus thing that I wanted to be able to show, you can grab your ink edgers. my ink edgers. I thought I had this like all, I cleaned up. And that's my biggest flaw now is that I cleaned up. And now that I cleaned up, I can't find where anything is. Because I cleaned up. Do you ever have that problem once you clean up? Kayla's on her way, and she just reminded me that if I lived where I used to live, she'd be there by now. She'd be here by now. Okay, Kayla, I get it. I don't live where I used to live. If you grab your ink edgers, because these are juicy pigment inks, these will work as well. They won't be as glittery and sparkly, but that's okay. You're going to coordinate your colors in the same manner. Where is that orange sheet? That's going to make me crazy. This white is going to really reflect, and I'm afraid you're not going to be able to see it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to focus on this layout. We're getting ready to start it. I'm going to just turn off a few lights so that this camera doesn't pick up as much glare. And if you need to look at me, it's going to be really dark to look at me for this, but then I'll turn the lights back on when Kayla gets here, and then we can talk again. Do you guys have any questions about anything that we're doing that I'm looking at the screen right now and we're talking before I go on to doing this scrapbook layout? Are you guys excited to do the scrapbook layout? Anything at all? I'm excited to do this. So if you have ink edgers, great. That's what you'll need to use. If you don't, you can grab your Glimmer Mist. Or if you have your Glimmer Mist, great. If not, grab your ink edgers. We're going to do a little bit of both. Put hashtags go in the comments or the description section wherever you post the photos. If you're doing it on Instagram, if you're doing it on Pinterest, wherever you're doing it, put it in that comment/description section wherever you upload that photo. Twitter. Yay! Okay, I'm going to turn off these lights and hopefully it'll really like get rid of the glare. So let me switch this. Give me a second. I know, when you're doing it by yourself and you're trying to manage lights and production. Whoa, hey. There. Okay, I want you to be able to see what it is I'm doing. And I'm going to turn off these lights and let's hope and pray that this works. Well, that's one step. Hey, would you look at that? If you turn off all the lights in a room, the camera doesn't give glare on everything and you can see the details and the color. There's literally no light in this room right now. I have one little light in the corner that literally is more of a night light than anything. But hey, if it works and you guys can see what I'm working on, then we'll go with it, right? Well, we'll just turn off all the lights whenever we do a desk project, and we'll try not to alternate back and forth too much for this portion. All right, I'm going to move my chair over. And one of the things that I already did, and it's very simple to do with these alpha stickers that are from, should be included. You just peel up that little bit of the backing sheet. And you're going to have to kind of keep your letters pressed down because they will have the tendency, because it was meant to remove the letters, not remove the whole sheet at once. They're going to want to come, the letters are going to want to come with the sheet. So you're going to have to kind of take your time and go slow and make sure those letters stay stuck to the backing sheet so you can still use the letters. Or if you've already used all your letters, or most of your letters, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. This one I've only used a couple things on here. I had a orange sheet somewhere else. I don't know what happened to it. The other half of the orange I was using, but I wanted to use more of the numbers on this one because it has all the punctuation and exclamations as well. And I wanted to capitalize on using some of those for this particular layout. because I like to, you know, show you guys examples, but then I want to show you variations so that you get the idea that, you know, you don't have to do it exactly the same way I did it. With the techniques and the general how-tos, you can make it work for any project that you're working on. So we have a couple pieces that stayed stuck and kind of came off, and that's okay. And I'm just going to, oh, all my twos stayed stuck too. Didn't even notice that. We'll stick those back down. I think that's Miss Kayla. I think. It is! It's Kayla! Yay! I was hoping it was Kayla, otherwise somebody was breaking into my house. I did want to show you guys another thing that looks really cool. If you have a like pattern paper along these lines, look how cool this looks. Sticking it on there and then cutting it out and using that as a background too. I can't believe the room is completely dark and like it makes such a difference. But if you cut this out and then you can utilize that as just an embellishment, an extra thing on a page that you can decorate over top of. It just creates such a fun, cool thing. All right, we're going to set our designer papers aside. I am working on a wipeable craft mat, and I do have paper towels, and I have baby wipes available to me. So you might want to have some baby wipes if you're working with anything else. And before you stick this down on anything, you kind of want to stick your hand to it a few times, or stick it onto your pant leg, or stick it onto something that's going to remove some of the stick, or use a little bit of baby powder on it. But I don't want to completely remove all the stick. I just want to remove the uber stickiness factor. I have my white piece of paper.
It's sitting in the dark.
It is the dark. Kayla's like, it's dark. You have no idea how dark it is in this room. Actually.
Does that help you with that?
Well, you can totally see now. Everybody's like, whoa, it's totally different. But, oh, it doesn't look that dark on there either.
No?
I guess that's just the way the camera auto-adjusts or something, because that doesn't look too bad. But it's, besides that one light in the corner, the shades are closed. There's no sunlight coming in.
There's 2 little lights on.
It's bizarro. I'm used to working in, like, huge studio lights. Whatever. If it's working now, it's working now. All right. So I'm going to be doing kind of the same kind of thing as before. I really want to utilize these exclamation marks. And I know I'm doing white on white, which is why I wanted to use the orange on there so you guys could actually see the contrast of where I'm placing my chipboard pieces. But you should get the general idea. I'm actually going to start using the ink edgers for this. And like I said, I wanted to do the chipboard. So I'm just going to actually press it over there, over top, because it's good and juicy. And because these are, the really cool thing is that because it's a glossy finish on here, you can take your baby wipe, and like I said, make sure you don't have that, but it wipes right off, so your ink isn't, you can kind of reuse this several times over. And you're reusing, essentially, what would be trash by anybody else. So I'm going to do just a few more of these. And you can do different colors. You can do some of the brackets. You can really get in there and just pick out certain things to do. We want to do 1, 2, 3. Let's grab another color. Okay, and I'm just going all over my canvas here. And when I say canvas, I mean my white cardstock. Alright. I'm just wiping it off in between the colors so that I can see what's really happening with each one. And you can just see it gives that really fun stenciled look and a background to your page. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, what's wrong? Oh, I'm going to start grabbing my glimmer mist now. And the glimmer mist that I'm using is electric blue. I'm going to be using a couple different ones. I actually, when I get glimmer mist, I get them in little paint system collections from Tattered Angels. These are two that are available at Crafty Corner. One is called Hummingbird. It is an extension of the Prima Flower line. And then the other one is as an extension of Pink Paisley. It's called Bold Brights. These are the two that I love, and they come with a couple different things. This electric blue came in the Bold Brights, and the silver, I think it's the Silver Sugar, came with this. Actually, the exact ones that came in these kits are here. The Glimmer Mist is the Rum Punch, which I'm using, and the Glimmer Glam, and Teal High Heel is what came. I'm wrong about that, but mix that up. But I do buy them generally in these paint system kits, and they're available at Crafty Corner. Okay. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing some far away mist and some close-up mist. The further away it is, the more spread out it's going to be, the little bit more even. The closer you go, it's going to give those little like splatter splurts that look really cool. Like it's kind of more concentrated and it gets a little like bright color like right there. And if you do quick little jabs or squirts, you get like even more of a actual like splattering when you do those quick little squirts versus a full like push pump. And I'm doing more of the numbers this time. But if you wanted to add some of the letters, you can layer in the different colors like this. You can layer them on top of each other. Let's grab Rum Punch. We'll do heavy concentrate of it and then like some lighter bursts on the around it. So if we did like get that A and B really good, maybe did a little ST down here, SST, or a little whatever, you can get that really concentrated spritz. And this is just kind of playing around. You're coloring in your background. You want to wipe it off as you go. Wipe off your letters as you go. And like I said, hold on to these to use over and over. And it just is a cool layered look. Do a little bit more down here. I'm going to grab this is Silver Sugar. And just spritzing around kind of gets rid of some of those really harsh lines. But you get an extra bit of dimension when you layer using the ink edgers first and then the glimmer mist on top. And you can see, like, here's the crossover because we laid the patterns going this way. So this is like half red and then half teal. That's a really cool look. Oh, okay. So Kayla just brought in her challenge one to show everybody. We'll take a quick little, oh, she even made it on a little easel.
I was inspired by your cards yesterday.
She made a little easel for it. This is a little ceramic tile, a little 2-inch square. About, or 3-inch?
I have no idea.
Okay, it's a 2 or 3-inch square ceramic tile with finished edges that she then glued to a little easel that she made, just a little triangle of cardstock that she made. And she made a little ribbon rosette. I'm sure she used 12 inches exactly.
I did. I measured.
I was going to say, did she use 12 inches exactly?
It doesn't look like it because it's all
well, yeah, because it's all bunched. And then she put a sparkle light in the center. And then here's her little twist tie as her stem or petals, leaves of her flower, and her one little button. How cute is that? Move that so you can actually see it a little better. How cute is that? And there's no glare. Would you look at that?
If only we could have figured that out last night.
Yeah.
Been working in the dark.
I would have been working in the dark last night. I can't believe it's like I feel like I'm totally in the pitch black here, but it's not pitch black. It's just I'm used to having 19 lights pointing on me.
It's very dark.
I don't know why we're doing it so dark. It's something weird with the cameras. So you can really see this pops, and this is like a really great way. I know it looks like a hot mess at first, which it is, but you can start really layering and creating with this in many different ways. So if you actually even wanted to do a name, so if I wanted to do, say this is for Jenna. So what I'm going to do is take her J, and I'm going to make it kind of splattered, but I'm going to go in really close and tight on the J, right there. And it's the JK, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is then the E, nice and close and tight, and I'm doing it in the blue. It gets a little bit of the F, but you can see the E. And you can use the ink edgers too. Don't forget. And I'm just using these two colors. You could really utilize a bunch of different, I mean, there's so many colors available. There's my M. She's going to go nuts over this. And it's just all layered together. And then we'll do the A. And yes, there's the other letters in there, but you get the idea of what it's doing, that it shows through. Yes, Kayla's awesome. I'm telling you guys, she's a billion times more talented than me. She should be teaching these classes.
I am not good on camera, though. You don't have your sparkliness.
I shouldn't say she should be teaching these classes. She should be teaching classes, is what I like teaching classes.
I like teaching, but not on camera.
Yeah, you can put tape over it too, but the idea of this is to spritz in close to get the letters, but still have it look chaotic. Because if you did just specifically those, you're going to lose some of it. You know what I mean? And you can use those ink edgers to get the individual like we did up here for the exclamations. Okay, so then what I want to do is just a few extra spritzes. I like using the silver sugar as an overall spritzer to tie some things together where there's like some white spots. Like I go in really close and get like a concentrated blob. And then maybe a couple far away spritzes. I just really like the way that kind of brings it all together. And then I always take, where it's concentrated, I just kind of dab it a little bit with either a paper towel or whatever to kind of sop up so there's not puddles in any one spot. Just like that. The Glimmer Mist. It's grunge, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's just more Jackson Pollock-y. Right? I mean, yeah. It's just a little bit more sporadic. It's a little bit more eclectic. It's just a different style and a way to, you know, you get the letters in there without it actually, like, lining up spelling a word. Okay, so those are the colors that we're using. You can see the brightness of the pinks and the rum, was it Rum Punch that I used? Yes, Rum Punch and so much more. All right, now we're going to, and I'll go back over. If you want to do something, there's another white piece. I'll set this aside while it's drying for a second. Like you were saying about covering up the letters. If you want it to do, you can get in there with your ink edger, do an I. Okay. Grab washi tape. Where'd my washi tape go? Is it on behind there?
I saw it somewhere.
I have like washi tape everywhere. Washi tape will work the best. from the standpoint. You can tape off all the letters around it. And you can go really crazy if you wanted to. But the point of this is that you're using an overall stencil. But you can get in there then and do your tape off little goodies too. Okay, and get as detailed as you want. But like I said, for that one, we're just making more of a splattered matterings to get specific letters. Then versus getting specific letters, sorry. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. You get the idea. Okay, so now for Jenna, it's her first day of kindergarten, right? So I want to use some of these girly things. I want to use some of these bright things. I want to have some journaling. I want to have different pictures to set up here. I love this particular bright flowers. The flowers match right along with this, and I need my paper trimmer. What's wrong with Facebook?
It's those people are having problems with the tag. Kim, washi tape is a type of tape that's kind of sticky, but not too sticky.
It's a decorative tape. It kind of is very transparent and clear, and there's so many patterns and designs out there. It almost feels kind of like a little bit of a thicker tissue paper with adhesive on the back.
If you guys are having problems getting the hashtags to work or questioning how to use the hashtags, you can always email a copy of your picture to service@craft-e-corner.com, or you can always go to Above Ruby Studio and send it through the contact link as well. It will go to the same place.
You can do that, or you can if you just post it to my wall, if you post it right on my wall, I'll find it and see it too. We'll find it. We'll make sure. Okay, so I am taking this flowered paper and I'm doing 5 inches by 7 inches. I want to do a 5 by 7 photo for the first day of school, first day of kindergarten. And then I'm actually also going to take this and just do a couple, like 1 or 2 inch strips. This one will be 1.5 inch. It's the leftover from my 12 by 12, the little square that I had left. So we'll do a 1 inch. I like to cut a couple strips. What Kayla is going to do in a little bit is she's going to start pulling up the different images, and we will start seeing to make sure that what you posted is there, and then we can confirm with you guys. So we want this to kind of stand out on here, right? We want it to all blend together, but we want it to be really, like, dramatic. You know what I mean? Like, this is a dramatic, colorful mess. So, it's a dramatic, colorful mess. The yellow on here will really separate this out for me from the white of the background to this. And I can't, do you want to turn even that light off? I think that maybe if we turn that one off, we're going to be even less glary. I know they can see it a lot better than they were, but. So I'm going to just cut this down just to be a little bit bigger than the 5 by 7, maybe 5.5 by 7.5 of my yellow. If you guys grab a color wheel, and you can find them all over the internet. What did I just make this one? 5.5 or 7.5? Sorry, talking, can't talk and chew gum at the same time. Or I can't talk and measure at the same time is more accurate. Wow. Okay, that's like very contrasting now. It's dark, but it's contrasting. I feel like I can't see what I'm doing unless I'm creating looking in what you guys are watching because it's so dark. Like, if I took a picture with my phone and posted it, you guys would be like, holy cow. Are you doing that right now?
But it doesn't look that dark. But it's really dark.
It's really dark in here. Like, I almost feel like I can't give you guys an accurate picture of what's happening. Wow. I'm going to set this yellow aside to keep my bright. If you guys pull up a color wheel, you can really look at contrasting and complementary colors. The colors that are across from each other are actually going to be the complementary to the other. So, for example, if you look at red, directly across from red is green. That balances your colors. I know it's a little hard to explain. I'm probably not explaining it very well while I'm trying to create this. And I'm going to do a color class at some point in time because I've had so many questions about it. I'm now spritzing this background with my my rum punch to tie in the colors of my background to this. Even though the colors are already there, it gives that splattering again. Nope, all the papers in the boxes were different. There's not any one, there's no paper that's the same in any box. I'm just, like I said, like I was showing one example. Where did that other layout go? Oh, here it is. Here was one example where, wrong camera. You know, it's the same background technique, but the papers are all different. You know, they're just different color papers. They're orange and yellow and whatever. This is, you know, more the flowers. And I grabbed some yellow. This is in my little shoebox. To just sort of, you know, create. If you're doing, say you're doing black and white, you can do, you're doing your white background and you have a more predominantly white designer paper, you would want to have black behind it here. If you're doing a red, if you're doing more predominantly red, you'd want to have a green behind here, okay? Like I said, gonna do a color theory class at some point, but can you start? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I can't see what I'm doing.
That's what I'm trying to figure out is how can we make this work with the camera but not and still be functional for us.
Yeah, that drowns it out instantly again. Instantly drowns it out. I need night vision goggles. Anybody have a pair of night vision goggles they can send me? I don't know why the camera's being like this. Yeah, everyone has different paper. That's the whole, it's like, it's a mystery, it's a challenge, it's a little bit of a different thing. The point of everything I'm showing you is so you can create different techniques over again. So I'm doing a 5x7 photo. I have these strips that I cut out, and I'm going to be using these guys as accent pieces, and I'm actually going to rip them. When you rip them, it creates a fun little edge, and it allows you to use them in different areas on your paper. But the cool thing is when you use glimmer mist and do this, it softens them, crinkles them, ties them together with what you're doing. Here's that green. And I just have a bunch of little strips and squares. I'm going to set these guys aside for now because we're going to come back to them. I want to actually mist all of these separately. And you can ink them too. And what that's going to do is take some of that white core that's sticking out. It's also going to soften the paper a little bit to give it a little bit more of a crumpled, not so crisp, clean look, but it's not going to make it that it's not a dirty grunge look because we're still using bright colors. I just feel like it's different, you know. I'm going to use the rum punch because we have a lot of pink going on here. So I'm just going to splatter them with the rum punch. And again, remember, if you do quick little squirts, you're going to get more of that blotchy, like that. If you do long pumps, you're going to get it more spread out across, like on that one. And yes, there is so much shimmer and glitter on there. It really shines. We'll let those kind of dry and then wipe off your craft mat so that you're not spreading ink everywhere you don't want it to be. So I said if you don't have a craft mat, definitely grab a cardboard box or something to create in. All right, I'm going to do 2 strips kind of in the center of this because I want to be able to layer things underneath my photo matting. And I'm going to do a kind of angled picture. Everybody thinks everything has to be straight on all the time. Sometimes doing those angles really create, it's just something different, you know. It's something that gives a different interest. When you're going through a scrapbook layout, it's like, oh, something catches your eye because it's not quite right. And it is a little bit of an art. It's a little bit of a practice thing to make it still look like a cohesive piece, but still really kind of stand out differently. So you can see here there's some contrast between my yellow that I didn't glimmer mist. This is the only piece I did not, and I'm not going to glimmer mist, is this one matte, because it's going to separate everything out but still tie everything back together. Does that make sense how I'm saying that? How would you say it? I'm looking at Kayla.
It makes it cohesive, but it separates the photo, which is where you want your eye to get drawn to.
Yep. And then I'm going to take these little strips, and this is going to act as my extra little bit of embellishments. And I'm just going to play with them. These are a great way to add the texture, add dimension, add the different designs and patterns in a pretty easy way. We'll just do these 2 here. And you can just kind of see how I can't believe how different this looks on camera versus in my, it's going to make me lose my ever-loving mind. Okay. All right, so there you go. Yep, freezer paper works awesome too, and it is cheap. You can buy it in the rolls and go with it. What did I do? Okay. All right, so that's kind of where I want this. This is already adhered down. I'm going to start adhering these little embellishment pieces down. Okay, and I'm just lifting them up and then sticking them right back down where I had them. See how I did that? Whoops. And it helps when the paper doesn't stay stuck, but that's okay. It happens. You can also pull them out and then stick them in and back down. Especially since we only put our adhesive in the middle of our matting, photo matting, where our photo is going to go right here. You might want to do that a little bit more. I'm actually also going to take, just because this like ends really harshly white up here, I don't want it to end so harshly white. I'm going to take my ink edger and I'm going to smear it along this top and blend it in just a little bit. So harder at the top and then just kind of lightly press it down through. Whoops, that edge caught. That's okay. Lightly press it down through. And maybe even just go along that very outer border of my white with my ink edger. You can really see how it makes that edge stand out. It's because that pad is so soft and gushy and has so much ink. This is truly what it was designed to do, and it is a tear-resistant pad. The material we used, a lot of ink pads, if you run them along the edges of paper, it'll actually put like cuts into the pad, and you want to be careful doing that. You want to be careful with that. Okay, I have these embellishments. I do have some white up here, and I want to keep that going. What I'm going to do here, this is going to be my journaling area. This is just an extra little block, and I'm not going to mist this, but I am going to let some of the misting corners come over this, and that's why I want to be really careful when I place this down. how it comes out. And what I'm doing here, see how it comes off the edge of the page? Don't be afraid to do that, as long as you're not cutting off an important part of your design. Again, it's your way of adding in your layer, but it keeps it like it was all meant to be together, but you're adding different elements together. And cutting off the edges of things really can change a look very quickly to projects that you would be working on. It looks amazing doing with cards. People think they have to make it, it has to just fit. But when you finish it off with a little bit of an ink edger, just like this, it makes it cohesive to the page, but you have that separation as well. I do have this flower, and I'm going to grab the shellac. This is the shellac ink pad, and it's way along the edges. I'm just going to go just along the very edges, but you can really get in there with a flower. Use that corner, use that point. Well, I'll just show you since I started now. I got to finish it. I wasn't going to do the corners. I was just going to do the tips. But you can utilize the points of these because the ink pad is raised. And again, it's not going to cut or slit on you. I was saying earlier, Kayla, I think you were driving here when I was talking about it. I get like really sad, like I've been talking about these products again, and I'm getting like so sad that they're gone.
I'm sad that they're gone. Like, I love the ink edgers. I bought like 4 sets of them, just, and even though like I haven't gone through my first set yet. Yeah. Bought 4 sets just to have them when they all die. Yeah. That's sad.
As long as they stay sealed, they'll stay juicy for a really long, long time. And even like these ones that I'm using, these are my original set, and we brought them in almost 2 years ago.
I use them all the time.
Yeah.
And they're still juicy.
Yeah.
And the sparkle lights, I'm sad to see those are going out. We're really low on stock on most of those.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
And once they're gone, they're gone.
It is. It's so sad. It's so sad. I want to do... Okay. So that's what's happening with that. And then I have... Oh, here they are. I'm like, where are my white... I'm going to do first day... Oh, because it's white, I can't do that. What am I doing? So for this, I'll show you really quick here. For this layout I did for Benson, and I wanted them to coordinate because I wanted to put them side by side, but I wanted it to be, you know, more boy theme, more girl theme is the idea for this. But I wanted them to look really cute side by side in the scrapbook layout. So that's why I'm using the different numbers for hers, and you know, his is straight on. His is a straight picture, but hers is in that angle. It just gives it their differences without it being so clashy. In that bag should be my pink chipboard stickers. She's going to grab me my pink ones. While that is happening, I'm going to... Thank you. Party Girl. Party Girl is the pink. I love the idea of using freezer paper. Have you ever thought of using freezer paper as a splat mat?
No, but I use freezer paper to do iron-on stencils.
Yeah, you can do iron-on stencils.
Or to make
I just
patterns.
never thought about using it as a splat mat if you don't have one. That's a really good idea.
We learn stuff.
No, and that's why
just
we're sharing together. That's why I love doing these things. So I'm going to do first day of kindergarten. Am I going to spell this right on air? I'm going to be really embarrassed if I like write something wrong.
F-I-R.
I'm just kidding. Kayla is my grammar and spelling Nazi. If you've noticed over the past maybe year, there's been, I don't want to say far less, but there's been less spelling errors and grammar errors on Above Ruby Studio, and that's mostly thanks to Kayla. Before Kayla did it, Britton did it for a while. Because Hooked on Phonics worked for me, man. What am I doing? First day. I'm like, see?
Of kindergarten. Oh, the Perfect Pearls powder.
Oh, you can make glimmer mist with that, actually. If you... I'm not going to get into that whole thing because that's going to take a while to talk about. Yeah. Google glimmer mist from Perfect Pearls. There's really cool videos out there on how to make glimmer mist with Perfect Pearls. But you can use Perfect Pearls with as over top of your ink. Okay, do I have Perfect Pearls around here somewhere? I think maybe in one of those drawers there's a yellow Perfect Pearls.
That's probably what they are looking at too.
Okay. I'm going to show you, we'll use some yellow Perfect Pearls on here so you can see.
If I can find it.
It's in one of those drawers. I don't know which one. I'm going to do K5, and you could spell out kindergarten if you wanted to.
I found it.
She found it?
Yes.
Oh, you're awesome. Okay, we're going to use some of this so that you guys can see how I use it. You're going to want to grab a completely dry brush, some type of paintbrush that has like a soft edge, soft, what is it, brush? A soft paintbrush. It's a soft bristles. Bristles, thank you.
That's a painter.
I'm going to write on here of, like I did for Benson's. Ooh, that's not my fine point. Oh well, that's okay. First day of K5. And I'm not pressing these down really hard yet because I want to make sure that I don't want to move anything yet. These do reposition for you a little bit, and then when you press them down really good or use a little bit of extra adhesive on them, then they'll stay. What I'm going to use with the Perfect Pearls is take something, a pigment ink. You can also use like, this is a galaxy marker or an embossing marker. And if you maybe do a little bit of doodling or drawing, something that has a very wet ink, embossing powder works absolutely awesome as a medium. Oh dear, I opened it upside down. And then you take your paintbrush inside your pigment and then you go over it. It's going to add mica and glitter and glimmer the same way your glimmer mist does. Yeah, see, these aren't pushed down yet. You can see the separation and the standout of this. That galaxy marker was not very wet, so you kind of just see it on there. You can see some of the swirl where it really grabbed, and some of it's just on there still. Otherwise, it'll just brush off. But if you take, for example, let's do the orange. This is the Sweetness ink edger. And if I just come in here and add a little bit of wet ink right there, and then I take my paintbrush with my mica, I can work it in. It'll blend into my orange and give my ink edger that same glittery effect. I'm glad you guys brought that up. I didn't know Perfect Pearls were in any of the boxes. I would have talked about them before. See how that looks? Versamarker works very, very well. Very, very well. But you can use it with, you know, your colored inks too. I'm just going to add some of the yellow. Since we have the yellow on here, might as well. Is that not glued in? Nope, it's not. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to grab, this is a Jelly Roll. It's a glimmer pen, gel pen, which is very cool. I have now. So Perfect Pearls, it's not really similar to embossing because it's more of a mica. It doesn't have texture to it. It adds glimmer, and it's more like almost like an eyeshadow for your paper crafting. Nope, you don't need to heat set it. You don't need to heat set it. You just sort of dust it in there and blend it in. Yeah. So I'm going to do... Now that's going to be hard to see because this is like, oh no, it's not. I'm like, that's going to be really hard to see. And it's really not. You can add some extra little like glimmery touches as well. Like this is more about the glitter for Jenna. Shocker.
She's your daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I want to grab a pearl pen. I'm going to use a pink one for this. I feel like Kayla has something she wants to add and she's not saying it.
No.
Okay. I am adding my Perfect Pearls. Again, this is my dimension. I'm using the Pearl Pink for this. Any color that coordinates will go and do and whatever. And you can also pick up more colors. They're still available at Crafty Corner. Am I correct on that, Kayla?
Pearl pens, yes.
And there is a difference. If you go shopping, actually Kayla and I were in Joann's the one day.
Yes.
We were in Joann's the one day because we like to look and see what other people are doing and what's going on in different stores above and beyond being shopping online. And we were looking and they had Viva Decor products. I'm switching back because I want to talk to you guys for a second. And I don't like talking into this. We were at Joann's and we were looking at the different, you can see how dark it is in here now. Just saying. The Viva Decor pens, and there were some Viva Decor products in Joann's. But if you look, there's Viva Decor US, and then there was what? It was just Viva, I think, right?
Just Viva, yeah.
And the ones that were Viva Decor were a little bit more expensive, and then the ones that said just Viva on it, and they look very similar, like literally side by side. They're different products. There was a little bit of a... Viva Decor originates in Germany. The manufacturer is in Germany. And there's a licensing agreement to a specific company, the USA branch, here in the United States. It's kind of a long, drawn-out story, but you want to be careful that when you buy, you're picking up Viva Decor US, USA. Crafty Corner carries Viva Decor USA. The one brand will be the quality is actually a little bit different. There's a little bit of a different formula. It's still manufactured in Germany, but because of the exclusive licensing agreement, somebody else went to Germany and sourced it, and that's where there's some confusion, and I try to clear that up. Doesn't mean you can't use the other one. I'm just trying to let you know that there will be a quality difference. There will be a, should I say quality difference? It's a formula difference. Yeah. So it'll still work, but there's a formula difference because of the exclusiveness of it. I think that's a better way of putting it, because it's not that one's worse than the other one. There will be a price difference, and the ones that I always use is Viva US because they're the original ones that brought it here and exclusively did the contract and whatnot. So, all right, let's go back to my layout, shall we? To what we're creating here. This is pretty much getting to be, you know, kind of where I want it to be. What I wanted to do is add ribbon to it yet, because I did the ribbon on the other one. Oop, did my hair, okay. And, okay, so I'm making everybody crazy with my ribbon thing, aren't I?
What, using ribbon?
The way I'm using ribbon. Okay, so to do it a little differently, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to show you the ribbon I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to take little strips of my adhesive. I'm actually going to create little loops back and forth instead of, what just happened?
I'm looking at the chat.
Oh. I'm taking little strips of adhesive. You can use the adhesive squares. You can use your glue glider. I'm going to make little loops back and forth. My big, huge, wonderful hair piece that I made earlier today is catching because I put it in my hair during lunch. I want to try to do 5. I like you when you're scrapbooking or creating, doing things in odd numbers is actually a design tip here that even though it's an odd number, it actually creates a balance to the projects you're working on. I have a feeling Kayla's about to get me in trouble. A bad feeling about this. Okay, so I created this little guy. And remember, I didn't adhere it all the way down. Ooh, I should save the pearl pens for last, for the love of pearl pens.
You touched it, didn't you?
Touched my finger right into it. But that's
every
okay.
time I work with pearl pens, I smudge one. Every time.
And they're not that... They do dry relatively quickly, like, compared to other brands.
I never wait that long, though.
Apparently, I don't either. And there's a bright light. And we just blinded everybody.
Sorry. It didn't turn out that great either.
Well, redo it.
It served its purpose.
Oh no. She is getting me in trouble. I guarantee it. I gotta get rid of this paper. This is not working. This paper, the purpose of why I'm doing it works, but where it's positioned does not. I thought it would be cool to have it come over. Maybe it does. I don't know. I kind of do like it. I take it back. Maybe you need another piece of paper there. What do you think?
I would add one more.
Okay, so I'm going to rip another piece, and I'm going to glimmer mist it. Sorry, carpet. You're about to get some... Or my hand. I said, sorry, carpet, and I just sprayed my hand because the nozzle wasn't exactly where I thought it was going to be.
Ted's not down there, is he?
Nah.
You can run away. He heard glimmer mist and he ran.
He's been misted more than once. Oh, I like that. Okay. There. That's a little bit better. And maybe we can just go in, like I said... Concentrated. When it's concentrated, just dab it up.